Rebekah, a woman of faith and protagonist in the story of the divine covenant. The Bible presents Rebekah as one of the most important women in the narrative of the Old Testament, wife of the patriarch Isaac and mother of the twins Esau and Jacob. She played a fundamental role in the continuity of God's covenant with Abraham and his descendants. Rebekah's life is an example of faith, courage, initiative, and trust in God's plan. Throughout this video, we'll explore her journey, her historical context, and her theological relevance, showing how this extraordinary woman influenced generations and left a permanent mark on biblical history. Rebekah's origin and family background. Rebekah was the daughter of Bethuel and niece of Laban, residents of the city of Haran in Mesopotamia. Genesis 2:4. This region is considered the cradle of many biblical narratives, and the family ties established there played an important role in the development of the people of Israel. Rebekah's selection as Isaac's wife was not random. Concerned about the continuation of God's covenant through his son, Abraham sent his faithful servant to find a suitable wife from among his own relatives, to preserve their faith and cultural heritage. Genesis 24:2-4. This care demonstrates the value placed on lineage and the desire to maintain spiritual and cultural purity in Abraham's descendants. The encounter with Isaac, providence and answered prayer. The moment Rebekah meets Abraham's servant is one of the richest and most beautiful narratives in the Old Testament. The servant went to Haran with a clear mission, to find a wife for Isaac from among Abraham's relatives, and he trusted God to show him the chosen one. At the well, he prayed a simple yet powerful prayer, asking that the young woman who offered water to him and his camels would be the one appointed for his master. Genesis 24:12-14. Rebekah appeared and not only gave water to the servant, but also to all his camels. An act that revealed generosity, hospitality, and a willingness to help, virtues highly valued in that culture. When the servant explained his mission and asked if she was willing to go with him, Rebekah, despite her youth and the unknowns ahead, promptly agreed. This courageous attitude reveals her faith and readiness to follow God's will, even without knowing exactly what awaited her. Journey to Canaan and marriage to Isaac. Rebekah's journey to the land of Canaan marked a turning point in her life. Leaving behind her family and everything she knew, she trusted in God's plan and Abraham's promise. This highlights her courage and faith, essential traits for facing the unknown and becoming part of the fulfillment of the divine covenant. Upon arriving, Rebekah met Isaac as he was meditating in a field. The Bible describes this moment as one filled with emotion and spirituality. Genesis 24:62-67. Isaac loved her immediately, and the marriage was celebrated, symbolizing the union of two families and the continuation of the promise God made to Abraham. The marriage of Rebekah and Isaac was not just a personal relationship, but a crucial link in salvation history, for from them would come the patriarchs of the 12 tribes of Israel. Rebekah as mother, challenges and decisions. For many years, Rebekah was unable to conceive, which certainly caused distress, as offspring were vital to God's covenant with Abraham and Isaac. Rebekah fervently prayed to God, and he granted her request. Genesis 2:5. However, her pregnancy brought a new challenge. The children in her womb struggled against each other, causing her much discomfort. She sought a divine explanation, and God revealed that she would give birth to two nations, and that the older would serve the younger. Genesis 25:22-23. This prophecy was unexpected and indicated that the chosen child for the blessing and covenant would not be the firstborn Esau, but Jacob, the younger. The episode of the stolen blessing, strategy, and boldness. When Isaac was old and his eyesight had faded, he planned to bless Esau, his eldest son, and a hunter, according to the tradition of the firstborn. However, Rebekah remembered God's promise and desired Jacob to receive the blessing. She then devised a plan for Jacob, disguised as Esau, to obtain his father's blessing. Genesis 27. Rebekah prepared animal skins so Jacob would imitate Esau's hairy skin and cooked a meal that would please Isaac, although this act might seem deceptive. The biblical narrative shows that Rebekah acted in alignment with God's revealed will, even though it led to intense family conflict. This episode is controversial, but highlights Rebekah's active and decisive role, showing that she was a determined and wise woman who fought for the fulfillment of the divine promise. Consequences and farewell to her sons. After the blessing incident, Esau became furious and planned to kill Jacob. Worried, Rebekah advised Jacob to flee to her brother Laban's house in Haran, where he would be safe until Isaac's death. Genesis 27:41-46. Rebekah's decision demonstrates her concern for her children's safety and the preservation of the covenant, even if it meant family separation. Before dying, Isaac also blessed Jacob again, confirming the blessing that came through Rebekah's plan, Genesis 28. Through these actions, Rebekah ensured that the covenant lineage would continue according to God's plan. Rebekah's spiritual traits and legacy. Rebekah stands out as a strong, wise, and unwavering woman of faith. Her life teaches us several vital lessons. Faith and trust in God. From the moment she chose to go with Abraham's servant, Rebekah trusted in God's plan, even without knowing the future. Initiative and courage. In a time when women had little autonomy, Rebekah made key decisions that shaped her family's future and God's people. Intercession and prayer. Her persistent prayers for children show the importance of communion with God in times of difficulty. Practical wisdom. In ensuring the blessing went to Jacob, Rebekah demonstrated discernment of God's will and boldness in acting on it. Theological and historical vision of Rebekah. In the biblical context, Rebekah represents the continuation of God's covenant with Abraham. She is a central figure in Israel's history because her choices and actions ensured that the blessing and covenant were passed to the next generation. Theologically, Rebekah also symbolizes God's providence working through people. God not only establishes promises, He also uses courageous individuals to fulfill them, even if their actions are not immediately understood. Rebekah's narrative also emphasizes that God is active in the details of human history, guiding and protecting those who seek to fulfill His will. Rebekah in biblical tradition and culture. Rebekah is considered an important matriarch, one of the great women of faith in the Old Testament, alongside Sarah, Rachel, and others who played key roles in the story of salvation. Her story is remembered and honored in Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions, which regard her as a model of devotion, courage, and service to God. In art, literature, and worship, Rebekah is often portrayed as a symbol of the virtuous woman and the mother who intercedes and guides her children in the ways of the Lord. Conclusion. The enduring importance of Rebekah. Rebekah's life is marked by moments of faith, courage, prayer, and decisive action. Her story shows that God acts through ordinary people, with their virtues and flaws, to fulfill His purposes. As Isaac's wife, mother of the twins, who became the founders of the 12 tribes of Israel, and a key player in pivotal moments of the divine covenant, Rebekah leaves a spiritual legacy that transcends time and continues to inspire us today. She teaches us that trusting in God, being willing to act according to His will, and having the courage to face challenges are essential elements of a life aligned with divine purpose. Rebekah is not just a biblical character of the past. She is a living example of faith and perseverance for all who wish to walk in God's covenant. If this inspiring story resonated with you, be sure to share this video with someone who needs to hear about Rebekah. Turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and leave your like. We'll see you in the next video with more inspiring stories like this one.